Alright, good, well, it's morning for me right now at the time of recording, but hello ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are having a very pleasant day. If not, I hope this video makes it, just that slightly bit more pleasant, I suppose. I hope you enjoy, listening and watching to this one, or both if you're doing that, or neither if you, I don't know, if autoplay on YouTube just got you to this video, then hi, welcome. I'm Wynn. I'm Charles Wynn, that is my online alias, and it is also my character's name. In the previous episode, we had quite a bit of Ellen content, to be honest with you. We confessed to her that the pie was actually from Damien, and we just took the credit because William told us to, because he was concerned. She yelled at us, but after Thanksgiving, we, she seemed to... Wait, no. Has Thanksgiving happened yet? I'm not sure. Hold on, let me take a look at the diary. Shadowed Wings. No. Oh, Family Thanksgiving, there we go. Wait, no, that's not it. Okay, I don't think we've had Thanksgiving yet. Sorry, I just uploaded the Thanksgiving episode from the first playthrough onto YouTube. So I'm a little confused. I had to rewatch that one to figure out what was in that video, because I've just titled them like MDWH 13, 14, 15, so on. And yeah, spoiler alert, there's more than 15 episodes in the first season, I guess you could say. Is this a season? Anyway, you've come here to watch me play. We're gonna go study. And of course, Minnie Cochran is assisting students in the school library. We'll study with Minnie. Discuss the principles of green magic, smart and green magic increased. I see Donald walk in and head for the back of the library. Didn't he say something about extra credit projects? He pulls a piece of paper off the wall, grins, folds it up, and shoves it into his pocket. I stand up and catch Donald before he can leave. Hey, what have you got? It's a project for Potsdam. For Merit. Excuse me. She's asking for people to make candles next week. Oh, that must be related to the Student Council fundraiser. You interested? I'm happy to help. You can come with me and Luke then. I'll let you know when we're ready. He nods at me and leaves the library. I tracked down Professor Potsdam over the weekend. Yes, dear? Is it still possible to volunteer for the full play? I'd like to see it, but I can't pay for the ticket. Oh, I see. Well, we wouldn't want you to be deprived of culture, would we? The sets and costumes have already been prepared, and I don't think you want to face the parents. Right. If you're willing to help clean up after the show, though, that would do nicely. Sure, I can do that. Wonderful. We'll see you then. Alright, cool. So we did manage to get a job for helping the setup. Well, the cleanup, I suppose. But that means that we can get into the show for free. At the end of the week, I have a chance to prepare a few things. We're just going to click done. We don't have anything, really. So I believe we do have a test on Wednesday. On Monday morning, as I'm getting ready for class, I spot a piece of paper lying on the floor in my room. Another announcement. I pick it up and it blinks, William enjoys theatre. Cupid. Who sent this? Doesn't seem like William's style to make a suggestion like this, especially not as Cupid. Is that someone's little joke? Do I want to go to the school play with William? With William? Who would enjoy seeing a show with me? Oh, I could ask Minnie. Hold on, wait. Let's save here. So save on, show partner? Yeah, you can interpret that as a partner for a show, or I'm showing my partner something, or I'm showing my partner to someone, or whatever. But, I'm gonna try my luck and try and invite Minnie. I make my way over to beautifully here. Excuse me. I don't know what came over me. Charles, what is it? Did I forget something? No, I just wanted to know if you wanted to go to the play with me on Friday. Oh, I can't. I'm sorry. I already promised Manuel I'd help with the art project. And then Jacob and I are taking inventory and... you're busy. It's fine. But I'll see you on Saturday for our shift. I've got to go. Oh well, I guess I'll go to the play alone. What classes should I take this week? The next exam is on Wednesday. Oh. You know what? Screw it. If she won't accept... is that immoral of me? If she won't accept... Well, no, if I know she won't accept, I want to go with someone. So I want to ask Ellen. I make my way over to Horse Hall. Charles? Hi. Are you going to the play on Friday? I'm looking for someone to sit with. I don't know. You don't know if you want to go? I don't know. I have to get ready for class. Because we confessed to her the situation. But, like, that's still, like, I don't mind the situation. This is still fine. Like, it might make me sound like I'm desperate, but honestly, in my mind, it's, my mind is percolating like, we would have told her the confession anyway, so, you know. I don't feel like I've crossed any moral boundaries or anything. I think she doesn't know if she wants to go with me. Well, I can always go by myself. Wow, I just have no luck with anyone, huh? Alright, fine. Would I rather not go on a date with Minnie or not go on a date with Ellen? What? I think I would rather not go on a date with Ellen, to be honest with you. Oh, but I do want to... I'm convinced that I want to do, you can ask Barbara, to do the Minnie thing. Okay, let's go Minnie, sure. Absolutely, let's go. We've clarified that we wanted to do Minnie, at the risk of making it seem like that I really want to do Ellen's route in this playthrough. But, our stress is currently at 8. We can get some blue magic, so we'll do 2 blue magic. We'll make sure that we have enough blue magic before we carry on. Oh, and we can get, green magic or black magic. Which exam is this one? Is this the one with the Bladen Beast? I believe level 5 in black magic gives us inscription, whereas level 5 in green magic will probably be a bit more useful. So I'll do it like this then. We can definitely get 1 skill ready, and then we'll go take a rest. Blue magic last success, gain 2 blue magic. We have previously discussed the subject of translocation when it comes to objects. The relocation of self is more complex. In essence, it is the same spell, altering the location of a single target, but it requires greater focus. It can be difficult for someone to accurately picture themselves in order to correctly visualize being elsewhere. Imprecision can lead to materializing off target, which might cause you to fall and injure yourself. In addition, many find self-relocation to be somewhat disorienting. In rare cases, this can lead to an accidental magical outburst during or after the process. For this purpose, your first wizard attempt should be supervised by a qualified wizard. We spend the rest of the day taking turns to teleport ourselves around the room, and eventually the school. As far as I can see, there are no accidents. Cool, we got teleport self. Blue magic class is a success. There he is. Here I am. Right, are you ready? If you don't remember, you don't have to come. Yeah, more for us. He's not going to explain. He's not going to explain. This is some kind of trick. I am tempted to go, but I also want to not go. But then I'll be missing out on content. This is basically like saying, hey, do you want to do something before we carry on or not? And it's like, if you say no, and we're playing a game, you're missing out on content, right? Let's see what happens if we refuse. Actually, I'm busy right now, you guys go on. Suit yourself. What was that about? Yep, just as I thought. Okay, we will go with them. Alright, you lead the way. I follow Donald and Luke to the classroom that's normally used for black magic. There are stoves and pots set up in the back for potion-making experiments. There you are! Yes, ma'am. Now, if you'll hold still for a moment. A veil of green magic settles over us. That should improve your resistance to heat and stop you from burning yourself too easily. Of course, you'll still need to be careful. Especially you, Mr. Pfeiffer. Yes, ma'am? You have an instruction sheet here with all the steps, including the proportions for the dyes and fragrance oils. Do you have any questions? We are cool. Alright. I'm going out for a while, but I'll be back shortly to keep an eye on things. Don't worry, I won't interfere. I might even bring my knitting. She leaves the room and I look more closely at the collection of supplies in the back room. I wish I could have asked Potsdam what we were doing. Oh, that's right. Donald saw the notice in the library asking for people to help make candles. Ah, yes. How did this work? Set up the wick, melt the wax, pour it in, then cool it down. Easy. You can cast a seal spell, right? No. Right. You run the wax, Luke can do the wicks. Sure. Okay. The wax is set up in a double boiler. That means that there's a pot full of water and another inside that with wax. Make sure the water doesn't all boil off, and keep an eye on the temperature. If the wax gets too hot, it explodes. Which must be why Potsdam enhanced our heat resistance. When the wax chunks are melted down, mix in the oil and colour, then stir it in with a wooden spoon. You've done this before. I read the directions. Once the pot's ready, you can pour it into the mould that Luke is setting up. We work together to assemble the candles. Luke and I create and fill the moulds, then Donald casts a series of spells to cool and compress the wax. It isn't difficult work, but it does become tiring if we repeat the steps over and over. Despite Potsdam's precautions, there are no accidents. Luke seems fairly comfortable working around the hot stove. Do you do things like this at home? Huh? No. I can cook a little though. Me and Logan do it together. Most recipes are meant for 2 people to eat. 2? Your parents don't eat with you? Sometimes, but they have to work, so sometimes it's just us. So we cook for ourselves. What do you like to cook the most? I don't know. Careful, don't confuse him now or someone will get burned. Yeah. Do you cook, Charles? No. I never really learned either, but my dad's great in the kitchen. Home cooking. It's very different than it is for them. It's very different for them than it is for me. At home, our meals were always served to us. But if I talked about that, I would sound spoiled or stuck up, as they say on television. And so I keep quiet as we finish our batch of candles. Wonderful work, ducklings. 10 merits for each of you. A job well done. Alright, so the downside to doing that is our stress did increase. We did get green magic. We can skip this because we got... What did we get? Track scent. Okay, yep. Here we go. The exit from this dungeon has been hidden. Choose your path carefully, but be cautious. All is not as it seems. Alright, so we will do a quick little save here. Oh, why did I save it down there? Why is this constantly saying save a secret society? Not as it seems exam. Okay, so I was wrong about this being the Blazon Beast exam. We're going to examine the floor. Charles, the answer to this puzzle is simple. Just... ... Who left that there is my question. Oh, I can't get over. I mean, I can teleport myself, but that takes a lot of magic. That takes 20 magic. That is ridiculous. True sight? Oh no. Yeah, that was wrong. We can teleport ourselves out to here. I materialize into total darkness. There is a solid surface under your feet, but you cannot tell anything more than that. Well, that's why we cast light here. Oh no. Even more? There's no floor? Oh. Ah! My arms flap about as I tumble through the air. And then I find myself back at school. Carelessness. What would it have cost you to check ahead and be sure that your path was safe before setting foot on it? You saved a tiny touch of mana, then lost 10 merits. Not a clever trade-off. It didn't occur to me that there might be dangers hidden in the dark. He is right, it was careless. Get on with you then. Yes sir. That could have gone better. We're going to accept this loss. I'm on my way back to my room when I hear a commotion in the halls. Stomping and shouting. Professor Grabiner, sir! Is Ellen yelling at Grabiner? I better go see what's going on. I ease forward, joining a growing cluster of students who are staring at the confrontation. Your testing procedures are unbalanced and unfair. Take it up with the headmistress, I have no time for this. No, you listen to me. It's important. Would you be willing to accept detention in exchange for my listening to your little diatribe? Yes! I see. Carry on. I like how he handles that. The only thing he cares about is whether or not she gets detention. Anyway, you tell us that we're supposed to be creative, but you discourage creative solutions. You tell us that we're supposed to think our way out of challenges, but you don't teach us to think. All we've learned since we've been here are spells. No history, no literature, no social guidance. You don't tell us what is and isn't accepted behaviour, and then you punish us anyway. You tell us to experiment, but you don't tell us how to do it safely, and you don't give us the tools to measure our progress. And you make fun of science for doing what you can't is wrong. Have you quite finished? Yes. Very well. I'll see you on Sunday for your detention, Miss Middleton. He pivots neatly in place, his cape sweeping out behind and making onlookers flinch and walks away. Ah! I don't know exactly what set Ellen off, but I think it's best to wait for her to calm down before I ask. Exercising success. After classes let out on Thursday, I tracked down Ellen in the school library. Charles? Hi, I want to know what she was arguing about with Grabner, but how should I bring it up? I'll ask if she's alright first of all. I heard you got in some kind of trouble with Professor Grabner yesterday. Are you alright? Well, sort of, but... it was because of the exam. I didn't fail, but he said I didn't pass either. Because I found my own way out of the dungeon, but I didn't use any magic to do it. How did you do that? They told us when we went in, things aren't what they seem, so I knew there would be illusions. But the walls all felt solid, so I realized they must be affecting the mind as well as the eye. So I thought, if I don't know the walls are there, they can't affect me, so I blinded myself and spun. And then I fell over, but that was okay because I needed to crawl to be sure that I didn't fall into any invisible pits. You crawled through the whole dungeon blind? Oh no, I had to take the blindfold off to use the teleport circle. There weren't any instructions, so I had to test all the rune combinations in sequence. How is that even possible? So I found the exit, but I didn't cast any spells, so he said it didn't count, and he wouldn't give me any merits. If they said I had to use a spell, I would have. It's not fair. I went through the previous exam without using any spells, but I suspected that it was against the rules, and I wasn't surprised when Potsdam wouldn't grant me merits for it. We are here at Iris Academy to learn pentachromatic spells and ways to apply them. Naturally, school examinations would test and measure those skills. Perhaps she sees things differently because she's a wild seed. You know, Minnie wanted to arrange some special assemblies for wild seeds, to help them fit in. Really? Why didn't she? Professor Potsdam wouldn't allow it. She said it was important for newcomers to find their own paths rather than to be told what to do. That's good, isn't it? She wants you to be individuals. That doesn't hold up if we're still punished for not assimilating. What? Conforming? Adjusting to be like everyone else? Oh. What will you do now? What they tell me to do. Until I think of something better. I can't believe Grabiner gave me detention just for speaking my mind. I can't believe you agreed to it. Oh, I guess I did. It was still really mean. He's an awful man. He'll probably invent something humiliating to do to me. He's not so bad, really. How do you know? I'm a good judge of character. Right. I'll talk to you later. Alright. I must say that, socially, one thing I do find troublesome is knowing how to end a conversation, and I am kind of impressed by the way that he ends these conversations. But anyway, we lost all of our stress. In the evening I head to the auditorium. There are a lot of people here, not just students, but ordinary Americans who must have driven out here to see the play. Sorry, I've got a bit of congestion in my throat apparently. In my stomach pipe tube thing. The thing that you feed yourself in. No, not indigestion, because that's painful. Whatever. Anyway. As usual, they don't notice our capes and robes. The dim lights may help, but I'm sure a bit of magic is at work as well. Amiably blind, they process past the table in front of the door, handing over their money to a witch as they go. Professor Potsdam has left a note at the ticket table so I can go inside without paying. Folding chairs have been set up in rows across the floor, facing the stage. Beyond the curtains, a vast illusion creates the impression of distant lands, marble steps and crumbling ruins. With magic, of course, it would be possible to create a perfect image of Corinth as it now stands, hundreds of years after the Romans destroyed and rebuilt it. However, the ancient Greeks staged their plays as openly as possible, with only painted backdrop to set the scene. Too much detail would distract them from the aesthetic. Besides, if the stage looked like a true portal back to a city whose temples I have actually visited, I think it might make me a bit homesick. The audience settles in quiet and the show begins. Euripides, there we go, Euripides. Oh, Euripides? Does that share an etymology with Europe? Euripides. I guess it's not Euripides. Anyway, Euripides' Medea is considered one of the classics of the ancient world. I'm familiar with the story. The hero, Jason, was married to Medea, a powerful witch who had betrayed her own people to join his quest and use her powers to aid him. However, once they return in triumph to Athens, Jason sets Medea aside to marry a wealthy princess. Furious, she plots the murder of his new bride and the king who had planned to exile her. Once they are dead, she then kills the children she had born to Jason so that he would see his line ended. In the end, she flees to Athens, leaving Jason alone in the ruins of his life, where he eventually dies unmourned. That is cruel. According to my mother, the historical Medea did not stab her children, but took them into the other world and tore their souls from their flesh, reanimating their body spirits to curse the father that abandoned them. Aha, there we go. That's the jump scare right there. This performance keeps to bleh. Wow. I need to learn to speak. This performance keeps to the tradition of knives and a surprising amount of blood. The unprepared audience shrieks along with victims. But they clap along easily enough when the curtain falls. After the play, I helped the ushers pick up trash from the room and mop the blood off the stage. Please don't tell me that was real blood. Someone knocks on my door. Charles, are you ready to go? Go? It takes me a moment to remember. Right, selling candles. Come on, the boxes are waiting. We've already delivered the mail. Isn't that Jacob's job? Give me a minute to get ready and I'll meet you by the vans. All the student council members work together to load the vans with boxes of merchandise and equipment, including a fold-out table and chairs, a large patterned cloth and a collection of white plastic pipes. Not smoking pipes, but the sort that carry water, along with many little connectors to hook them together. Are we required to create our own plumbing? Then, we arrive and work to assemble the booth. The pipes snap together to become supports for signs, and the cloth is spread over the top of the table to brighten the display and hide any boxes stored underneath. The candles are arranged by size and colour. It's not going to be mistaken for a professional display, but it looks nice enough. Since the freshman shifts aren't until the end of the day, I'm at loose ends once the booth is set up. What should I do at the mall today? I don't have any money. The only thing I can do is window shopping, but we'll see if there's any games here. I can just watch? What did that do? Stress decreased by 3. What about if I do window shopping? Oh, hello. I walk the length of the mall, not in any hurry, checking out the various shops displays and listening to the chatter of the locals as they wander by. The student council booth is doing a slow but steady business in selling candles. Raven stands by the display holding a candle of red so dark it's almost black. I know so many ways to bring a death, but which would it be best? Shall I set fire to the bridal chamber, or plunge my whetted blade in between their ribs? I recognize those lines. Medea, right? You went to the play. I took part in the performance. Well, she certainly wasn't the lead. I don't remember seeing her on stage. She must have been one of the unnamed Corinthian women. You were in the chorus? She nods. It is necessary to pay one's dues before advancement. Naturally. If you'll excuse me, I have a purchase to make. Of course. She must be very fond of candles. Lost in my thoughts, I managed to pass a few hours at the mall, just observing. Stress decreased by 3. As the day wears on, and the novelty of the American shopping centre grows progressively thinner, I amuse myself somewhat by listening in on the half-incomprehensible conversations of the locals, peppered with references and slang that I don't understand. The magic that prevents them from noticing anything odd about my clothing seems to smooth over any suspicions about me staring at them as well. I can hover near a couple and receive a barely puzzled glance before they return their attention to each other. Observing the American teenager in its natural habitat is only entertaining for so long. I begin to wish I had returned to the school before my shift, even if I would have only a short time before needing to drive back out again. The hour grows later and the sunlight fades, which might increase the appeal of the candle's warm glow. At least, it's time for my shift. When I arrive at the booth, I find Professor Grabiner seated nearby in one of the folding chairs. The other beside him is currently supporting an empty box. Minnie stands behind the table finishing up her work. Good. You are punctual at least. I am here to supervise only. I am not a salesman. You should not have any need to interrupt me. With that, he returns his attention to the book in his hand. I smile at Minnie. How have the sales been going? Oh, not bad. She looks past me, down the darkening stretch of shops. Do you mind if I stay here a while? Just to sit. I won't be in the way. I can keep you company. Sure. Thanks. Jacob's already gone back, so it's just us now. She walks over to Grabiner, moves the box off the extra chair and seats herself. He does not bother to look up. I step behind the booth and look over the current supplies. Then I stand and wait for someone to approach and buy my wares. An older woman walks past. She doesn't even pause. More shoppers go by. None of them stop to look at my booth. Don't they want to buy things? Isn't that why they're here? Perhaps the glamours are malfunctioning and they can't see me or the booth at all? But from the state of the stock and the cash supply, it's clear that other volunteers have been making sales. It would be improper to use magic to lure in a customer. I settle for staring at them as they go past, willing them to look my way. It's not effective. Oh, but someone is approaching. Oh. Ouch. Yeah. I don't really want to give this individual the time of day, but, I need to keep up appearances. Unfortunately, it's just Kyo. Well, no one said that wizards weren't allowed to buy from us. Perhaps if he takes an interest in the booth, more customers will approach. Yeah, but you know he's just here because he's trying to scheme something to win over Minnie. Would you like to buy a candle? He stares at me, then looks over to Professor Grabiner and then back at me. Without saying a word, he leaves. I hear a quiet footstep and discover that Minnie has walked up to join me. He kept coming by the booth earlier, watching me. Did he say something to you? Oh, no, he hasn't done anything wrong. Don't worry about it. She looks down at the cash box. You haven't sold anything? No one seems very interested. She looks at me. Maybe you're just not very approachable. Let me help. But you've already worked a full shift. I'm here already, so I may as well help you out. And it's for a good cause. Sit for a few minutes and watch me. If I'm doing something wrong, I need to know. I take her seat next to Grabiner, who continues to ignore us. For some reason, with Minnie at the table, customers seem a lot more interested in candles. Maybe it's the way she smiles at people as they pass. Maybe it's her enthusiasm, I don't know where she gets the energy. I suppose the truth is that I'm just as bad a salesman as Grabner. Neither of us were born a shopkeeper. She's better at this than I am. Should I just leave her to this? No, I need to get back to work. It is my responsibility. We're supposed to be partners and I have to make an effort. I go back to the booth. I'm ready to try again. If you see me do something wrong, tell me, alright? Of course! And so I resume my position while Minnie goes back to her seat. Time passes. Minnie takes my place whenever I need to sit down for a minute, but it's been a long day, so it's impossible to avoid feeling tired. At least the candles are selling better now. But it's growing late and the shoppers are dwindling. Professor, do you want us to stay until they lock up? He looks around. No, it's unnecessary. Anyone being shooed out by security is unlikely to stop for a purchase. Well, if they were being deliberately contrary, they might. Minnie seemed to find his statement amusing, but quickly hides her smile. Alright, let's pack up. In the morning, the whole student council worked together to move the supplies. Now it's only the three of us, and would have been just two if Minnie hadn't stayed. At least there are fewer candles now that we've sold some stock. The trip back, too, is quieter. I have nothing particular to say, and it feels awkward to make casual conversation with either Minnie or Grabner while the other is listening. In the dark, the trees that flash by our windows blend together with no sense of place or time, but I still know that I am far, far away from home. When we return to school, Grabner goes off with the money and equipment, and Minnie and I head off into the hallways. It has been a long day. Too long. With too little refreshment, as my stomach casually reminds me. Oh! Sorry. You don't need to be sorry, you need to eat. Too late for that now. It's not a big deal, I won't starve overnight. Come on, let's go to the cafeteria. But they're closed. It's after hours. Leave it to me. Minnie leads the way into the empty dining hall. Alright, why do you have a key to the cafeteria? That's a student council perk she forgot to share. Well, I'm up late sometimes, studying. I asked permission to come in so I could have snacks if I needed them. Would you like some coffee? No, I want to sleep tonight. Right. Well, I can't cook anything, but there's always apples. I can make sandwiches. An apple sandwich? They're actually nice. Really. I usually eat apples by themselves or in desserts. Peanut butter or cheese? I feel like peanut butter is a good option. But why is he giving me a choice here? Is this important? Is this a land-shattering decision in, for some reason I want to call this pineapple or, pineapple on pizza for some, I don't know why. I don't know why I want to call it this. But peanut butter. Be right back. She disappears behind the counter. Devoid of the other students, the cafeteria is so quiet that I can hear her at work in the kitchen, knife chopping away. A few minutes later she returned with 2 plates. The sandwiches involve no bread, but sliced apple rings stacked up with peanut butter gluing them together. Stray oats and raisins peek out of the brown goo. This looked like a pleasant snack, but not what I would expect for dinner. It's health food, it's good for you. Sure. She said she couldn't cook, but this is pretty tasty. Thank you. You're welcome. She sits down with her own plate, taking rapid, precise nibbles like a wood mouse eating berries. Before I finish, she's already standing up again. I've got to go. I've been gone all day. I've got to check my messages and catch up on my reading and... Okay, I'll see you later. Right, bye! And off she goes. At the end of the week, I have the chance to do things. Alright. Thank you again for coming here and watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. Let's see. What did we learn today? Our character does not have a great salesman persona, apparently. And, we had progress with both Ellen and Minnie, to be honest with you. So, yeah. We are leading up to that fated moment during the Christmas holidays, where it'll be a tough pick. And I sure as heck am not going to be thinking about which decision I'm going to go for until the chance occurs, until the chance arises. So, yeah, look forward to that. Anyway, thank you. Also, I learned that I am bad at English today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you next time.